Yeah, Zersky, getting ready for another live with the one and only King Bing, aka my boy, aka one of my best friends. And let's send him. Oh, Roser. User. Alright, let's send him the invite. Okay, invitation sent. And now we wait. What is Chugi Orb? You working or no?
What's bright? I'm a fool.
All I see is plants, my dude.
That's crazy.
Oh, yes, sir. Now I see all the gorgeousness.
Thank you. All right. How are you doing today, my guy?
Not too bad. Wednesdays are like my chill day. So I had one client this morning. Other than that, I was on the bike playing Smash, trying to get better so I can stop losing to you.
Yeah, okay, bro. You're getting ripped and you're getting better than me at Smash at the same time.
LOL, freaking big brains. All right, So we already got a couple people in here. I don't know if Seth is still in here, but he was in here before, which is hilarious because he just got his IG back. But anyway, I guess we can get started because I don't know how much time you have, but I want to be conscious of that.
I appreciate you, Dad.
So let's start out, I guess, by you introducing yourself, kind of give us a little bit of background, and then we'll hop into question numero uno.
All right. Hello, my name is Ben Vasquez. I have an LLC called Exempliphi that you got. This is my page right now, so obviously you can see that. I've been a trainer for like between 4 and 5 years now, and yeah, mostly training out of big box gyms and whatnot. But I've recently started taking on clients outside of the gym, and yeah, that's about it.
Nice, very nice. So, how long have you been into fitness, and what got you into it in the first place?
I would say since I was like 13, so like 12 years, because I was LOL Aleem over here. So yeah, I used to be viciously bullied for being overweight in middle school, right? It's 200 pounds. And then I was like, I have to do something about this. Like something just kicked on. So I joined the wrestling team, went from 200 to 145 by freshman year of high school. And I haven't turned back. I've just been in love with fitness since then.
Nice. So, what's your favorite style of fitness or like method of working out? Because I know you do a little bit of everything, resistance training, cardio. I know you've even done mixed martial arts. So like, what's your favorite?
I would say for me to train or for me to like train other people?
Like for you to do yourself.
Oh, for me, I mean, I like weightlifting, right? I'm trying to get back into powerlifting so I can catch up to you, right? Used to be the same. You used to be the same strength in high school. It irks me to no end, but it's fine. I'm gonna catch up. So yeah, weight training these days. I'm trying to get into MMA so I can get nice with the hands, just in case anybody tries me in public. But yeah, that's it for now.
Word, that's pretty dope. Yeah, that's kind of insane to think about though. Like going from, you said 200 to 145. Yeah, in the span of like, was it a year or was it like 2 years?
I would say a year. So like from the beginning of wrestling season 8th grade to the beginning of wrestling season 9th grade.
So what was it kind of like losing that much weight? You know, like, because I remember when I was like 236, I felt sluggish, you know, like my joints hurt a lot of the time when I would do like dips and stuff like that because I was so heavy. And then when I got down to like the 180s, like I felt a lot better. But like that was like 50 something pounds. Yours was more than that. It was like 60. So what was the difference like for you?
I would say the difference is more like emotionally and mentally, because I was in 8th grade, so I didn't have like joint pains and back pains and whatnot. It was more just like people started treating me differently, slightly differently, because I now lost weight. Girls started paying more attention to me and whatnot because I was like nice and sexy now.
Nice.
And the bullying didn't stop. It's something that I realized is like no matter what, people are gonna like just be a-holes, right, and bully you for whatever they can. So that part didn't really change, but it gave me the confidence knowing that I can, get this monkey off my back, something that's been the bane of my existence all my childhood. I've been fat, I've been bullied. So the fact that I can get that accomplished really gave me a boost in my confidence.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude, because like that's no small feat. And then also to do it at that age is also even more crazy because I know Like I didn't really know anything about lifting until I kind of got to college, and then I also didn't really know anything about nutrition until like after I graduated. So I can't
Mhm.
imagine like making that kind of change in your life that early on. That's got to be like super dope.
Yeah, definitely
So
wasn't in the healthiest manner though. Like I didn't know about nutrition either. It was just freaking wrestling coaches like, all right, get after it.
yeah,
Oh, you want water? Sorry, you have to keep getting after it. You know, so it wasn't the best way. It was just like go go go. You know,
yeah,
I wouldn't recommend it personally.
just gave me freaking PTSD. Get away from the water fountain.
You know, water is for varsity wrestlers only.
You gotta earn it, brother. LOL. All right, so what helped you choose to become a trainer in the first place? And was this always the field that you thought that you would end up in, or no?
No, I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do. All I knew is like I didn't want to work in a traditional type job. And honestly, I got into fitness because I was like, oh, all these people online selling like, what is it, cookie cutter programs. I was like, that could be me. I could sell cookie cutter programs and get that passive income. And then like I got into the industry and I was like, hey, yo, first of all, 90% of the people in this industry look better than me. So there's no way I'm going to outcompete them in their, selling programs. And two, like I actually learned how difficult it was to help somebody change their body and change their mentality around fitness. So it kind of like humanized them for me. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm not trying to scam people and sell them, cookie cutter programs when I could be giving them the personalized program that they need and they're going to see progress on.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, this is something that I talk about a lot with people, but people don't realize how scammy and twisted the fitness industry is, because it's like you look and you see all these Gymshark models, but in reality, you don't understand how much they suffer. And then on top of that, is as long as a person is like attractive and looks good, they're going to be able to sell you stuff, because it makes it seem like that's what they do, but in reality, it's not. And so like that's kind of something I also had to learn like the hard way, because I would look at all these like Gymshark models. I'm like, yo, that dude shredded. He's so aesthetic, blah, blah, blah. I want to get like that. And then I would work and work and work. But no matter how hard I worked, I could never actually achieve that, because I don't have the same genetics. I'm not on PEDs. We're not on the same nutrition plan, blah, blah, blah. So that's definitely, like you're saying, like something that I kind of learned the hard way, that I always try to make sure I tell people early on. It's like you're being lied to by all these videos and pictures and so on and so forth. Let me see. So we kind of talked about like how you got into the field, but what made you choose to become like a trainer, like outside of just doing or like trying to sell programs and stuff like that? Like what actually made you pull the trigger and get your certification?
I think I was not in college at the time, so I didn't really have any other prospects besides like art and I don't know, alternative quote unquote ways of making money. I almost got recruited into like a multi-level marketing scheme multiple times, and I was like, hey, bro, like this is not for me. So I was like, all right, how can I be in charge of my own money and also do something that I enjoy doing? And I was like, I like fitness, right? I like, I don't know, personal training seems like a cool job, right? You get to be around all these baddies and whatnot. And then obviously, like that helped me pull the trigger, but then getting into the field and seeing how different it was than like my original mentality, I'm like, oh, okay, this is not at all what I thought it was. Yeah, that was mostly it. I was just really interested in fitness. And also I had the personal journey of losing weight, and I wanted to, share it with other people.
Yeah, that's really funny, because I feel like so many people get into lifting thinking about like the girls or whatever, and then you realize the only attention you get is from other guys just trying to get huge. And I remember one of my other like interviews, same answer. Originally he wanted to train so he could just like be around like girls all day, and then he realized like, oh, like I actually like whatever, helping people get strong, blah blah blah. So yeah, that's pretty funny. All right, so my next question is, and maybe some people don't know this about you, but what made you decide to become a vegan? And can you also kind of give a little bit of background about what exactly being vegan is and what it entails?
Yeah, I thought that everybody knew what veganism was at this point, but like I get so many questions from people like, is this vegan? Is that vegan? So I guess it's still like cloudy for a lot of people. But veganism is basically like you don't eat anything that comes from an animal, right? So that's like dairy and milk, eggs, meat, obviously. And then there's some other things that people don't think about, like gelatin that they put in a lot of candy. I miss like Starburst. I love Starburst, but I can't have them because they have gelatin in them. And honey too, because it comes from the bees. So just anything that comes from an animal I cannot have, right? And I made that choice because I saw a documentary called Cowspiracy, and they were talking about like the damage that the animal agriculture industry does to the environment and whatnot. And I was like, I can't contribute to this, right? And also like the fact that a bunch of companies are kind of lying to us about the health effects and environmental effects of meat and dairy and things like that. My ideology has changed since then, especially now that like veganism is becoming really popular. You know, they come out with all these soy products and all these what's it called, like processed things now, that being vegan doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be healthy anymore. And doubly so for the environment. Like if you're making, whether you're making a processed non-vegan good or a processed vegan good, you're still dumping CO2 into the environment, right? It's still processed. So like your contribution to the environment might not even be that much better as a vegan unless you make conscious decisions. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. That's a lot. So, one thing that I was really curious about is like how it affected your nutrition and your training and your everyday lifestyle. So I remember when I first started working with my coach and you were kind of looking at my plan, and we're looking at like my protein intake, and just like one of the meals when you're talking about like the ground turkey, you saw how much protein I was getting from that. You're like, oh, must be nice. I'm trying to get like you, my boy. And I was like, oh, like, what does this dude mean? Like, what is he talking about? And then I realized like a lot of the protein sources that you have to take from aren't going to be quite as high. So like, how do you have to, or how does your nutrition training and every day change? Like, how do you navigate through all that?
So before I was kind of like, I drank the vegan Kool-Aid, right? When they were like, oh, like you don't even need that much protein, bro. Like the humans don't even need that much protein to live, right? But what I didn't take into account was that like most of the people that talked about that were vegan were kind of like scrawny. They were just like straight up vegans. Whereas like I'm in the fitness industry, right? This is my job. I'm trying to gain muscle. So obviously I'm going to need a higher amount of protein than, you know, the average vegan. So now I'm trying to consciously eat more protein by supplementing and just having like more soy products and whatnot, right? So mixed meals, just making sure that I'm getting the adequate amount of protein, carbs, and fats per meal. So it's just like meticulous. And that didn't really change from when I was not vegan, you know, because I kind of ate like shit back then too. So like you can eat like shit as a vegan or you can eat like shit as an omnivore. It doesn't really matter. You always kind of need to be meticulous with your diet. Like before you were on that diet plan, like were you eating asparagus on a regular basis?
Nope.
All right, so exactly, there it is. Most people don't eat like their fruits and veggies and whatnot until they're like told to. So regardless, paying attention to your nutrition is important.
Yeah, that just reminds me of like my old approach, because like I didn't really realize it was just like calories in, calories out when it comes to losing weight. And so I was like, oh, like as long as I eat healthy, like it's fine. So I would take a Costco pizza, and then I would take what's it called? Like a variety pack of veggies where it's like carrots and whatever, green beans, blah, blah, like all the veggies. And then I would just dump it on there. I'm like, oh, it's a veggie pizza. It's healthy. And I would have the entire thing in one sitting.
That sounds healthy to me, bro.
And then I would just be laying there with my food baby. It's like, oh, I got to hit legs today, bro. Let me just let it settle for 3 more hours. And there was just a vicious cycle of like overeating all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's also like eating healthy and then eating to lose weight are like two different things, right?
Yeah.
So you can quote unquote eat healthy and still gain weight. You know, like peanut butter is healthy, almond butter is healthy, but it's very calorie dense. So if you OD on it, you're still going to gain weight. Yeah. And people don't realize that. They're like, so like when I sit down with a new client and I'm like, okay, what's your diet like? First of all, they cap. Right? Immediately, they're like, oh, I skip breakfast, and then for lunch I have a salad, and then I skip dinner too. And it's like, all right, bro, like most people don't know what they're eating. But even if they are being accurate and they're like eating healthy, a lot of the time, one, they're not tracking their like dressings and things that they're putting on top of their salad and their healthy foods. And two, they could be drinking their calories as well. And it's just like they have no concept of the calories in, calories out portion of it. So they're two different things that have to work in conjunction with one another.
Yeah, definitely. That's really funny because like now that I've been doing this long enough, in my mind, I'm like, how could you ever be stupid enough to drink your calories? Just like, dude, like I'd rather eat food than drink my calories. Just have like a diet soda, blah, blah, blah. But like a lot of people don't necessarily know that. And it's like, I didn't know that until like a year or two ago. So it's like, you can go all this time and struggle with like your weight loss journey or like your body fat percentage, blah, 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 because none of this information was given to us. And that's something that I wish they did a much better job in, like in school growing up, instead of like gym class, it's like, oh, just go burn off energy. Or in health class, it's like, all right, sex ed, driver's ed, but nothing really to help me understand nutrition and how to actually take care of my body like a lot better. So, dude, I even remember when we went into the weight room, there was like, okay, if you do a certain amount of reps on a certain machine, you get points for the day. So I just remember doing like 10 sets of 10 on the chest press machine. And then I ended up winning, like, I don't know if it was like volume based, but winning whatever for the class. It's like, oh, you get like this free shirt. I'm like, all right, cool. All I had to do is just do chest press. How's that going to help like the rest of my body? How does that help teach me how to lift? So on and so forth.
Yeah. Really.
Anyway,
I remember in wrestling, remember we had to do power cleans, right?
Yeah.
I remember going up to, I'm not going to say our coach's name, but I remember going up to him and be like, how do I do power cleans? And he's like, just do it. Look at your other team members and just do it. And I'm like, bro, like you can snap yourself up so easily.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was like, all right, you have to do this for 2 minutes straight. If the weight touches the ground, because there were hang cleans, then all your teammates have to do 10 more on top of that. And it's just like, bro, we're just standing there arched over like this with the weight on our freaking knees so we can put it down. Like mad unhealthy. So it's just like, bro, high school does not prepare you at all for like being fit or being healthy in any way.
Yeah, it's a struggle, dude. Like I didn't even learn how to properly deadlift until freaking like last year, because I was talking to somebody who's been powerlifting for like as long as I've been, like 7+ years. So it's like, why didn't we learn that stuff? Why didn't we learn things that we're actually going to use for the rest of our lives? So, all right, so let's circle back, because I could freaking talk about all this stuff for like forever. My next question for you is, how have you used all your experiences and knowledge to help your clients achieve their goals? And what sets you apart and allows people to relate to you more than other trainers? So we kind of see like you've been doing this for a long time. You had a huge weight loss when you were younger. Then you figured out how to do it like the proper way. I owe so much to you. You're the one who put me on to personal training in the first place. You're always like, oh, get your cert. Dude, you can use my materials to do the reading. All you have to do is pay for the test. Like, how have you used all these different things like to help you become successful as a trainer?
Well, I'm sure, as you know at this point, because you've been training for a long time, that like the personal training certification is just like the baseline. It just says that like you can train this person and we trust you not to snap them up, right? So it's like what you learn on top of that is just by being in the field and speaking to people. So the biggest thing I learned was like meeting people where they're at. When I first became a trainer, I made so many people vomit by mistake. And I feel like that's like a rite of passage. It's just like, because you don't know like how hard you can push somebody when you don't have any experience doing it. So you're just doing things that you think they need, right? You do circuits or some shit. All right, I'll do these burpees now, and then they throw up. And you have to learn kind of, or as I've learned over time, you have to cater to that person, slow it down to where they're at. And if you talk to them, ask them questions, and they say, right now I've been working out 0 days a week, then you're not going to immediately throw them into a 5-day split. You're going to be like, all right, let's start by doing 1 or 2 days a week, and then we can slowly build over time. So I would say that that is the biggest skill that I've gained over my time of being a personal trainer.
Nice. Yeah. And again, like so many people don't realize that. And it frustrates me whether I see people's programs that I know it's all BS or kind of like fluff volume, or it's all like you're saying, like cookie cutter stuff that's not really catered to the person's like goals and needs. That's what drives me crazy. And like, so my first job, personal training, was working with a population in general, like 60 years old and older. And that kind of taught me how to like take a step back and be like, okay, like you can't just put this person onto a regular program if they physically can't do the exercises, you know what I mean? Or they don't have, like you're saying, like the endurance for it, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that's also why you and I have been so successful, is because we know how to set people up for success, not just completely throw you into the fire as soon as you get. And then also doing like safe exercises and stuff. Because I see people out here like benching 2 or 3 wheels on an exercise ball. And it's like, I would never have somebody do that, because it's like, begging for injury. So yeah, that's pretty dope. So what things have changed for you in your fitness journey over the years? And what are some of your current goals?
What has changed for me? I don't know. I think that, like I said before, like I was just interested in selling cookie cutter programs, but then I became more interested in actually helping people. So that's something that's changed for me. Something else I've learned is working with, I don't know, it's kind of like unorthodox. It has nothing to do with like personal training per se, but like keeping my day job. So like you have your own business, I have my own business, but like working in a place where somebody has your back and is in your corner, I feel like has been a good thing for me because the bulk of my clients are in the big box gym. Now for you, I would say that can be translated to you kind of created like a community around yourself. So like you have a small business and you talk to other small businesses in the area. So I think that's really dope how you guys kind of like support one another in, I don't know, all your business endeavors. So I think that's pretty cash money, if I do say so myself.
Thank you, thank you.
What was the next part of that question? I missed it.
Let me see. How am I blanking? So it's how has your fitness journey, whatever, changed? And then also, what are your current goals?
Oh, all right. So my current goals for fitness or otherwise?
Let's stick with fitness because I'm also going to ask you some of your other goals like towards the end.
My fitness goals for right now is I want to be in the 1,000-pound club again, right? So thanks to your help, I hit an all-time PR on deadlift, right? 425. So that's basically halfway there. I just need to make up for it in bench and squat. We in there. And then beyond that, I want to free up some time to actually go to this MMA gym and learn how to throw hands, right? But I need to periodize it so everything flows together nicely. I'm not just throwing myself at 10 different goals. You know?
Yeah, that's something that I kind of realized when I was in college. I don't know why, but 3 seems to be the magic number when it comes to how many different things that you can focus on and actually make progress for them. So I kind of noticed like when I was in college, I could focus on music, which is what I was there for, like getting better at my instrument in classes, blah, 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 lifting, and then mixed martial arts. But then as soon as I started to add in anything else, everything kind of started to suffer and fall apart. So it's super crucial that people kind of learn like, okay, like let's set these goals, let's achieve them, but let me not spread myself too thin, like going through. And I feel like that's what's actually going to help you be good at different things, but not just like kind of at them.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me see. Okay, so what's your approach to balancing being a personal trainer, entrepreneur, and content creator? Because all of those things are very time consuming. So how do you try to balance all that?
Well, one, I feel like I have a hierarchy of things that are important to me, right? So right now, paying my bills is pretty much at the top, right? So my day job of being a personal trainer kind of takes over. Secondarily, it's going to be entrepreneurship and then outside goals or outside side projects and things like that. And what was the third one? I'm blanking.
I think it's just, it's personal training, entrepreneurship, and then content creating.
Oh yeah, I'm slacking on the content creation for myself, right? So that I would say is like the third one in the hierarchy. And that's fine because like at the end of the day, that is the most low risk one. And it's not going to have immediate impact if I don't, I don't know, go to that goal immediately, right? So that's something I can kind of push off into the future until the first 2 are fully set. And the second thing I do to make sure that I'm keeping everything in order is I just keep a meticulous schedule. Like I have a Google calendar and everything's color coded, and I make sure that firstly, I set everything in my calendar to the hierarchy that I just told you, right? It's my personal training, work first, then my outside projects, and then if I have time at the end of the week, then I can focus on content creation. And I'm getting closer and closer to that goal with each week because I'm still catching up on projects, but I'm almost there, almost there.
Yes, sir. And for anybody who doesn't know, this man is an awesome editor. He's the one who's been doing all of like the filming and everything on my business page. And we have tons and tons of stuff in the queue. So keep an eye out. All right. Next one is, what difficulties or adversities have you faced during your career as a personal trainer? And then how do you keep on keeping on? So how have you kind of like, regardless of what happened, like, okay, like I'm still doing all this stuff. I'm still pursuing owning my own business, doing my own things, training people, blah, blah, blah. How do you keep that going? Also, what's up, Kayla? Good to see you. /here.
Hello, Kayla. Let's see, adversity. The most recent adversity that I can think of is, and this is not just exclusive to the gym that I work at, but when you work in a big box gym, a lot of the time they are not too fond of you promoting your business outside of the gym, right? But the way that I've overcome that is I just have like open communication with my employer, and I say, okay, what are the rules that will allow me to, promote outside of here where I'm not stepping on your toes, and we can like exist copacetically. And then we set those rules out, and then I just listen to their guidelines. It's just about, like, again, like with any relationship, it's communication, right? So learning how to communicate to your clients, to your employer, all very important. To your significant other, you know, all good things. Any other adversities? Not really. I'm chilling. I would say, like, maybe the sales aspect to working in a gym like this is like going out and talking to people. But I feel like if you're becoming a personal trainer, you kind of have a natural ability to speak to people and convey information. So if you can do that and get over the fact that it feels kind of predatory at first when you're in sales, but if you know you're trying to help the person and you can move past that, then, you know, that part is kind of gravy. You know, you get accustomed to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think something that's kind of helped you is, I know you've worked at a bunch of different gyms, and I'm honestly a little bit jealous of that experience that you have, because, like, normally for me, when it comes to selling people, like you're saying, like, it feels really predatory. Like, I don't like trying to, like, force, like, a sale. You know what I mean? Like, I like telling them what I do, and then showing them that I genuinely want to help them. But, like, if it came to just, like, cold calls or stuff like that, like, I can't stand doing that, bro. Like, I can't stand having to reach out to different people. So I think that's definitely, like, a good skill to have, and that will definitely help you, like, in the future with everything, for sure.
Yeah, facts.
Let me see what's next. All right, so how have you kept your passion for the fitness industry alive over the years? So again, like, you've been doing this for a long time. You've had different goals that you've achieved. How have you kind of kept things interesting for you? And then also, like, kind of seeing, again, like, how, like, kind of scammy some of this stuff is. Like, how do you keep that passion for it alive?
I would say the big one is the fact that the fitness industry itself has been transforming over the years. Like, when we first got into it, it was just all bodybuilders on YouTube, and you didn't know who was natty and who wasn't natty or anything like that. And just the amount of fucking scams it was just so much back in the day, and there was nobody to correct it, right? You remember six-pack shortcuts and whatnot? He used to get a lot of hate. But it's just like, now the fitness industry is such that, one, they're doing a lot more research and whatnot, so there's a lot more data on things, so it's harder for somebody to scam you. And two is there are a lot of people in the industry that call out the scams and, like, shine a light on it and say, this is not who you should listen to, you know, come actually get proper information. And because I'm a science head, I love that part of YouTube and the fitness industry now. So now there's kind of a counterbalance to all the scams, which has kept me interested. And two, working with people of different backgrounds. I would say if you're becoming a personal trainer, you should definitely work with a bunch of different people to see who you can niche down to in the future. And like you said, you worked with older people in the past. So you could kind of see the different ailments, aches, and pains that people get in their later age and try to combat that now when you're working with younger people, right? So yeah, those kind of things keep me interested.
Definitely. Yeah, and I kind of like a little bit of both, but definitely finding that, like, strength and conditioning, especially more geared towards powerlifting and bodybuilding, like, that's my niche. Like, that's been super crucial in how it's helped me develop my business, because I used to kind of be like the yes man when it came to training. I just wanted to train everybody and help them get jacked and tan, until I realized that not everybody has those goals. And then on top of that, like, you can't force your goals onto someone. You know what I mean? Like, just because you like powerlifting or you like bodybuilding doesn't mean that that's what this person wants. So usually that's when I try to, or I tend to, like, defer people to other trainers that I know specialize in that goal. Because it's like, at the end of the day, like, there's enough people in Jersey, in the US, blah, 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 in the world, for everybody to have enough clientele. So I would say, like, if you're kind of getting into this and you're not really sure what to do, find what you enjoy doing and then stick with that. Don't necessarily, yes, you're going to have to, roll the punches, and maybe you have to train people that you don't necessarily want to, because, again, like, people got to pay bills, blah, 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 but find what you enjoy doing and then stick with that. My next question is, what advice would you give to someone trying to make a name in the fitness industry? So again, like, you've been doing this for a long time. You worked at different places. You've seen a lot of different people over the years. So what advice would you give to someone just starting out?
I would say pick a goal and stick with it, because you have to figure out what lane you're in. Because I know people that have worked in this gym specifically for like 20 plus years, and they have made a career out of it. So if that's the path that you want to go down, I'm not going to disparage you for it. It's not the goal. It's not the path that I want to go down, right? Which is why I need to set my intention now, right? I want to be a content creator sometime in the future. So if you have a goal in mind, it's going to help you set up your path, and you're going to move differently. You know, if you kind of come in here and you're aimless and you're just like, I just want to help people, you're not really, not say that you're not going to get far, but you're not in control of the final destination. You might wake up a couple years from now and be like, oh, I'm helping people, but I'm not happy. Why am I not happy? It's because you didn't set that intention or that goal.
Yeah, and I think it's also difficult, kind of like balancing working really hard, but also not burning yourself out. And that's something that I really struggle with like the last 2 years, honestly. Because again, I remember last year, especially when I was a yes man for training, I ended up working at 1.3 months straight. Like no days off, training every single day, at least 1 or 2 clients a day. And it was exhausting. And then I realized, okay, like I need to, like you're saying, consolidate my hours, take a much smarter approach, and then focus on the clientele that I want and specialize my skill. Because if I just try to, whatever, make as much money as possible, like, yeah, that's cool, but then you're just going to be exhausted. And the other thing is like, for this job in particular, it's very emotionally draining because you constantly have to give out energy all day. You have to talk to people, you have to see how they're doing, blah, 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 this and that. You have to, because it's a service industry, you have to serve other people. So if you don't keep that time for yourself, then you're definitely going to burn out.
Yeah, for real. You have to care for yourself kind of like you care for your clients. Because if you have a client and they're not making progress and you talk to them and they're like, oh, it's just because I work 12 hours a day and then I don't remember to eat and things like that. It's like, okay, that's not healthy. You're going to lecture them on why that's not healthy. But if you look at a lot of personal trainers out here, that's exactly what we do. It's just like we train somebody, maybe we have 5 minutes between our clients and it's like, okay, let me go have a protein shake. And it's like, bro, that's not a meal. Like supplements are good, but you're not supposed to supplement every meal with, you know, a protein bar or a protein drink. I was talking to Avoc Parker. I was going to say his name, but I stopped myself. But every time we pass each other, because we're almost training, we'll like throw up how many fingers and it's showing one another how many protein bars we had that day. And it will literally be like 4 or 5 protein bars each of us have. And that's like half your daily calorie intake in fucking supplements. It's like, that's not the way to go.
Yeah, that's wild. And like, at the same time, like I realized not everybody, like meal prepping is not for everyone. You know what I mean? I personally love it. I don't mind eating the same thing every day, especially if it's good and I enjoy it, but not everybody can do that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of difficult, like, to talk to somebody about like, okay, like you need to make time for this. If you don't have time, prep your meals ahead, blah, blah, blah. Because you have to cater towards everybody's individual needs, schedules, so on and so forth. But I definitely think like when it gets to being as busy as we are, like that's what's kind of helped me through the day, because I don't even have to think about going out and like either going out and buying food. So that also saves me more money, but like having to make it. Because I know if I don't prep my meals every Sunday, when it gets to whatever, let's say I'm halfway through the week and I run out of meals, I'm like, I don't feel like doing this right now. That's another whatever hour or 2 I have to spend prepping. So yeah, that's definitely difficult. That being said, some protein bars are pretty bomb.
That's fact. I'm like, oh, well, I mean, you could have ate a chocolate bar. So, you know, if you think about it, you're being healthy. You're making the healthy food.
Exactly. All right. So my last question for you is, what are your personal business and fitness goals for 2022?
So that's 3 different things: personal, business, and fitness.
Yeah.
So my fitness one, I told you, I'm trying to be in the 1,000-pound club, get into MMA. Also, I'm trying to get big and sexy, right? I'm not on the same schedule as everybody else, so I'm trying to do it by summertime. Like I'm taking my time with it, especially because gaining strength and losing fat are not like synonymous goals that will work well together, right?
Hard.
But I'm trying to make it work by, you know, going slow over time. Let's see. Personal goals, I want to get more into actual social justice and, you know, going out and canvassing in like communities, because I talk about it a lot and I talk about a lot of politics, socialism, things like that. And I feel like I don't do a lot about it. So I think I need to go out and actually, you know, be about it and not just talk about it. And business goals, I want to build up to a point where I can eventually quit my big box gym and work on my own. Because I feel like I have gathered as much as I'm going to gather from working in these gyms. I've gotten all the experience. I've worked with a wide array of people, and now I feel like it's time to niche down and kind of spread my wings and fly, so to speak.
Nice, dude. That's super solid. Yeah, definitely. especially because like I've done it before. I don't even know how it freaking happened, but it just did. But like last summer, when I was trying to build strength, like blow up my bench, but then also cut weight at the same time, I was miserable every single day because you're trying to get down to a low body fat percentage, but your genetic set point isn't necessarily going to be comfortable with that. You know what I mean? So for me, I tend to be more of like an endomorph, which for those who don't know what that means, it's more of like you can pack on fat and muscle pretty easily, but your body doesn't necessarily want to be very lean. So for me to get down to even honestly like 12, 13%, I have to work really, really hard. And it sucked because I was so miserable, like barely eating whatever certain calorie count, and then also trying to get my bench stronger. It was miserable. So I definitely think that you're taking the right approach. Like focus on building your strength now, and then you can also focus on cutting later. And like, I mean, I obviously already know, but if I could offer any advice, I would suggest doing different varieties of exercises, because if you just stick with the big three while you're cutting weight, you're going to lose strength for them. It's going to be very demoralizing. So maybe you can even focus on MMA like while you're doing all that. So yes, sir.
Great.
All right, my friend. That's all the questions I had for you. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know you're a busy man, so I won't take up a whole lot longer. Yeah, do you have any other questions or anything, or you good?
All right, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Smart man. All right. What is one way that you would like to see the fitness industry kind of improve or change?
Honestly, kind of like what we're doing right now. One thing I noticed about the music industry is that people always think they're like the best thing ever, and nobody wants to work with each other unless you either have something to offer or are already established. When I kind of transferred over to the fitness industry, it was way more open, but I just feel like there's not a whole lot of like exposure for everything. So that's kind of why I'm doing these IG Live interviews. Yes, so I can kind of catch up like with my boys, check up on how they're doing because everybody's so busy, but also kind of like you're talking about, build that community with everybody, especially because like I feel like there's so much gym intimidation, you know what I mean? So I want people to look at my page or look at my channel, blah blah blah, and realize that like fitness is for everybody. Getting stronger, getting more jacked and tan is for everybody. So like you shouldn't be afraid to do so. Because I wish I would have known all this stuff like when you first started your journey. There we go. In middle school. If I would have known all I know now in middle school, I feel like I would be so much farther ahead. So I'm trying to like kind of like Elite FTS, where they're like trying to give out free information and kind of get back to the community. That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Hey, okay, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Surely, let me know if you're trying to catch these fat L's and smash, because I got a little bit of time before my next client.
All right, I got you, bro.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks again for everything. I appreciate you. I appreciate the work that you do, and I shall talk to you again sometime soon.
I'll talk to you soon. I appreciate you too, bro.
Yes, sir. All right, dues is main.
Peace.